Hello and welcome back to OC Avery with another video today. As you can tell by the title of this video and probably the thumbnail, this video is going to be on breeding bullfinches, the good, the bad and the ugly. What I would like to say before I do any of this and just show the footage, I am not showing any footage of anything graphic. Just for your comfort and that, and I don't want to be having this video taken down because of the graphic content that you could see if I was to put it in the video. So I'm going to start this video just by showing you the first 4 days of development. 5 days ago, today's Friday, on Monday we had 3 Siberian bullfinches hatch. We had 2 normals and a pastel hatch. And yeah, well, I'll show you the footage and we'll explain each day. I'll explain it in the video, just what's going on in the day, and then I will explain it once you've seen them. Day 1, Siberian bullfinches. As you can see there, we have normal. To the right, the darker chick. Straight in front we have a silver pastel, and at the back we have a normal. So that's 2 normals and 1 silver pastel, and then we have 1 egg to go. So this is day 1 Siberian bullfinches. This is day 2 Siberian bullfinch chicks. See there, 3 chicks. As it goes for the 4th chick, I'm not completely aware of where it's gone, or the egg at least. I didn't see the egg this morning in there, so we'll just have to have a look, keep his eye out, maybe hiding. Day 3 of Siberian bullfinches. You can see 3 healthy looking young right there, growing pretty well, so that's a really good sign. Let's see if we can get a little bit of movement. So yeah, all looking good. I'll probably bring them in a few days time by the look of their development now. Day 4 of Siberian bullfinches. Okay, so as you'll have just seen, day one you see 3 baby bullfinches and an egg. So they just hatched within probably an hour of each other, all young birds, obviously. Their parents are 2017 bullfinches, northern bullfinches. Their father carries pastel, the mother's just a normal hen. So from there we had 3 chicks and 1 egg. As you've noticed in the 2nd day, there is no egg. What happened to that egg? Well, I found that egg on the floor, smashed. It was infertile, so no losses there with that egg. The parents clearly just chucked the egg out. It's, you know, whether they cracked it themselves or either way, the egg was infertile, so no losses there. So there you are, that's day 2. Day 3, you will notice that there are 2 bullfinch chicks. I recorded the video and then looked back at it and noticed that there was 2 chicks, so I was a bit unaware of where the 3rd chick went. However, I wasn't overly worried because the pair had 3 chicks previously. This was 2nd round, and the chicks had just basically gone up with them under the mother's wings to keep warm. So I just assumed that the third chick was just not yet out of camera view, was inside the mother's down. Then you notice day 4, I believe day 4, you see again just 2 chicks. So obviously at that point, the fact that there was a chick missing that hadn't been seen over 2 days, there's clearly something not right, and that chick had disappeared. I later found that chick after filming that clip at the front of the aviary. I believe it maybe fell out of the nest and parents had moved it away from where there's a bath, etc. And you won't have seen a video of day 5 because I couldn't film that. However, with all things in birds creeping, if you keep birds yourself, especially British finches, you'll know all the struggles which we go through. We just don't really talk about because we don't like to dwell on it. So now there's one bullfinch chick, and that bullfinch chick isn't under a mother bullfinch anymore and isn't being raised by a mother bullfinch. I found this morning, I thought, right, I'll go and film a clip for you guys and we'll see how the two are getting on. And there was one chick. Where was this, like, second chick? Where was he? Found it on the floor, but this time I found it on the floor. Its whole throat had been eaten off and its crop. So what happened? What happened is my question. I can give you a good guess, I can't give you a definitive answer. But as you'll know, you might have experienced this, not just with bullfinches, but with most native finches if you keep them. Sometimes fathers have the tendency, when they get bored, to pull the chicks out. So I'm going to assume in this that the cock bullfinch got bored and pulled this chick out and ate the throat and the crop of the chick. So that left us with one chick, and I'm not willing to lose any more chicks. You know, we've lost 2. What the first one being, we didn't really know what happened there. I just assumed the chick had fallen out or something as simple as even just tucking under its mother's wing and its mother jumped out of the nest for whatever reason. Obviously the chick went with it. To lose a second chick is quite upsetting, to be fair. Again, this is second round, so later in the video I will show you a photo of the bullfinch I've got from the first round. Similar didn't happen in the first round. We had 3 chicks, a normal and 2 pastels, make it to about 7 days old. And then we had a pastel chick sadly pass. All I can assume is that this chick actually was suffocated by its mother overnight. Because obviously they were growing, there were 3 chicks in the nest with a mother sat on top of them. I think it caused one to suffocate, which is a shame. I tried to warm it up and etc. Just the little methods just to see if I can get any response, and sadly it was passed. Then we have 2 chicks. We have a pastel and a normal in the nest, and they both made it to 13-14 days old. The normal chick jumped the nest absolutely fine. I'll show you a video of it after this. And it's no real issues. It's got a slight, I think it might have broken its claw as a baby on the opposite foot to its ring, but you know, that sort of thing happens and it won't really affect the bird other than I might not show it. But then the pastel chick was partially behind. I'll show you a photo of them now on the screen. As you can see, there was a slight sort of gap between development. So the pastel chick wanted to follow the normal chick as it fledged. Pastel chick jumps, and obviously without sufficient flight feathers, the chick isn't going to make a soft landing, and sadly broke its neck. I assume anyway as it hit the floor, but I found the chick upside down at 14 days old on the floor with its neck, or like in its head, hung back over which is a real shame. Obviously I haven't got any photos of that. It's quite graphic content to be put on YouTube. But we have got one healthy looking Siberian Bullfinch chick who's now 30 or 40 days old. I would have to check the records, but that chick's fine. So now we just have one chick from second round. So here is the first chick from the first round of the Siberian Bullfinches. Obviously the chick's looking a little scruffy at the moment, don't worry, he's not long since had a bath. So yeah, there's no issues with the chick really. His feathers are actually in quite good quality, other than its tail feathers are a little shredded, as it's been sharing cage with about 11 greenfinch chicks, or young birds anyway. But yeah, so this is the first round youngster. I'm not sure whether it's a cock or a hen yet. It's not really showing any signs other than its colours just starting to come through. My guess is this is a cockbird, just looking at a couple of the chest feathers, but I can't be sure. But other than that, the chick's looking decent, and hopefully in time to come this will molt out to be quite a nice bird, and hopefully will be a good show bird. So you've just seen a video of the first chick, and obviously that's alright. No complaints really with that bird. Obviously its toe could do with fixing. I didn't show that in the video, but it's fine. It's just sort of a little bit out of place, and hopefully it'll develop into a nice adult as it gains weight and is fine. So that's first round, just that one chick, because the other two didn't make it to fledging. And then we have second round, so let's see that chick. So we're now going to go to the second chick, and obviously as you can see here, that isn't a bullfinch. This is a silver greenfinch hen. She was sat on 5 or 6 of her own eggs. They're infertile. Sadly the cockbird hasn't done his job, but he is a 2014 greenfinch, so I can let him off with being a 6-year-old. So she is on the final bullfinch chick, as you can see, just making an appearance. So what I'll do is move her off and we'll take a look at the final chick. I have been watching her on the cameras, and she has been feeding this chick, which I'm very thankful to say. It is important to me that she is feeding. So as we'll take a look now. This is the final bullfinch chick of the second round, the only survivor. She has done quite a good job so far. I moved him this morning in here. I've watched her feed him several times on the cameras, and so far so good. She wasn't sure about him at first, but thankfully now she's took him as her own, and we'll have to see how this one develops over the coming days. I'll probably put some update on my Instagram, whether that be an IGTV or just a post or a story, just to let you know how that is. If you aren't followed on Instagram, it is OC_Aviary, and just follow me there and you'll see more behind the scenes and a lot more content coming from there of everything I keep. So there you are, that's the final bullfinch chick from the second round. So after the sad start to the video, we'll now just move on to the general care and setups I've bred the bullfinches in. Obviously the setup and all that, this is what I've had success in with them rearing chicks in. Obviously with the first round I'm breeding them, I would say that the reasons for abandoning the chicks as they did and chucking them out the nest is more just factors, just things which come with the pair, and you know, there may be the odd couple of other factors such as the cockbird getting bored, but other than that, so this is the setup. This is a 2 foot wide by 8 foot long aviary. There are 3 potential nest sites. We have the first being here, which the second round were laid and hatched in. We have on top of there we have a load of fake Christmas tree, and I put a nest liner in there, which I'll show you now. That is just a cocoa nest liner, and she was more than happy to have the first round in there, which obviously was a successful round. And then we have an external nest box. I just tried, I've hung that onto the willow, or I think it's willow anyway, netting, fencing thing on the side. They haven't really had any interest in that. So yeah, that's a general setup. Obviously there's quite a bit of cover in here, some being fake Christmas tree and some being dead Christmas tree. I use actually just live dead ones though, real ones, and then there's obviously the fake ones. So with bullfinches being the secretive bird that they are, I keep them outside in flights, and I always try to make sure that we obviously have the front of a flight which is open, so they can only see people out of one side of the flight, which is the smallest. I find that works best. Keeps the birds calm and helps them settle to breed actually. So I have my corridor down the back of the flight, and I have a door with the food pot and the water pot there. I find it just makes it much easier where the birds actually don't see there if they're up on the higher perches. So I'll show you now here. This is the door I have. It's about 4 foot high, and that just takes you here. We have food, we have water, change that pretty much every day. On the floor through here we have a bathing pot, etc. So yeah, this is just what I give the bullfinches really. I give them it's actually a parakeet mix. They tend to like that actually. Just like that. There's a few sunflower hearts in there and seeds, and then just a mix of millet really. And I also give them a standard British finch mix, which is finer seeds. Obviously just water, just normal fresh water. I do put vitamins in probably once a month, and a bit of Baycox just to keep on top, a bit of S76 just for any air sac mite, because I had the hen struggle with air sac mite actually over Christmas, which was about 8 months ago now. For rearing, I give them egg food, which is, I believe it's Super Pets egg food. I'll put a photo on the screen now. Either way, it's their egg food. I definitely recommend it. It's great. It tends to be quite a good price actually for what you get. And then I give them peas and sweet corn for rearing, especially on the first few days, which I find works well to just get the chicks started. And then I give them spinach from time to time, probably a week in, just to make sure that obviously the chicks are bigger then, and they're getting fed larger bits, so I don't want them having spinach and getting a leaf of spinach and the parents giving it them actually causing them to choke. So I find that with peas they definitely have to chew them up, so they put it in as a more of a paste than anything. I say that's the best thing I found anyway. So yeah, that's the general nutrition of the bullfinches. Okay, so you saw exactly what I use to set up for the bullfinches and the food. One thing I would like to add is, especially during the breeding season, I actually grind up eggshells from like chicken eggs, etc. If you have like a scrambled egg, I just put the egg in a tray in the windowsill, let it dry out, get a pestle and mortar, and just crunch the egg up into a finer eggshell and give it the birds. I find that's obviously a great source of calcium and allows the female to actually form the eggs correctly with no calcium deficiencies. Just gives you a best chance. I also supply it when the chicks are being reared, just to make sure that all the bones are strong and they have strong legs. As I've heard stories of people having birds that have had a lack of calcium through rearing, so you end up with chicks with deformed legs, heavily deformed legs, or just can't walk because of that, and it's obviously not nice for the bird, especially when you could have done something to stop that. As for nest material, I get asked this a lot, because again, a bullfinch is a really popular, wanted bird. I've had a hell of a lot of people want to reserve some bullfinches off me this year, pairs and spares, and I've said that I'd never bred them before, so I might have some, but not a lot of birds to go, because obviously I have to take through my selection as well of birds I'll be keeping for the next year. I am hoping that this chick in here, actually, who is being fed right now, as I'll show you, if you can see in the corner right here, she's actually feeding the bullfinch chick, so I'm really quite pleased to see that actually in person, which is great. It's actually quite a steady head as well on that bullfinch, because usually I've found bullfinches will, especially when feeding, the heads are going back and forth, so when it comes to actually fostering out a bullfinch like that, everyone says do not use canaries, do not use mules, because a canary or a mule won't have the patience to just wait and obviously feed the chick, and then that's where you end up losing the chicks. So I thought a greenfinch, especially with it being close in size, to feed a bird which will get to that size would be best. They've also got the patience to actually look after them, which is really important. She's doing a good job so far. I've left 2 of her own eggs in just for a bit of support, so that they're there as well and she doesn't completely crush the chick, because that's the last thing I'd want, is to lose a bullfinch chick like that. So yeah, nest material, that's where I was. Yeah, nest material, cocoa fibre, literally just cocoa fibre. So it's just obviously strands of the almost, it's like wire which comes off of a coconut. You can usually buy that quite cheap from a lot of bird shows. I buy it at Stafford. I buy the normal colour because I find that the white colour actually isn't helpful for the bullfinches. I do actually wrap the rings, as I'll show you now in a photo, with bullfinches anyway, if the parents are rearing them. I've always found that you need to wrap the rings, because a hell of a lot of people have told me if you don't wrap your rings you're going to lose your chicks, and obviously I haven't even put rings on them. You know, that chick there is 4 days old, so you know how fussy bullfinches can be. I probably disturbed her once a day just to take the video of the chick, just to see the development, to show everyone, and I can't imagine that actually was really a contributing factor. As you can see there, the greenfinch cock is actually feeding the hen right here, which is a really good sign, because if he's going to feed that hen as well, he might feed the chick, which I'm hoping so. So hopefully we'll get some healthy little bullfinch out of there. It will be nice if they do foster them successfully. So my plan for this pair of bullfinches now, it's currently the 10th of July, yeah, 10th of July today. So the season really is in full swing for bullfinches now. A lot of people have said to me, oh yeah, if you should be getting your birds down by April, and I definitely didn't have that success. The birds weren't even bothered. It was only until about late April that we actually started pulling at cocoa fibre and actually giving it a good go. And I believe it was about halfway through May actually when she started building the nest. It only took her 2 days and she'd laid the first egg. Obviously reared the young. I took the young bird you saw earlier out last week, and that was that. You know, I left it in there for, you know, it had been hatched a month, just to make sure that it was eating, because obviously these are quite precious birds and I'd rather not lose them. Obviously it's quite upsetting that we lost 2 chicks, especially the pastels, which I was looking forward to having, because I did want to get these that come out like a silver bullfinch. I'll show you a photo on the screen now actually of a silver bullfinch, a pastel bullfinch. So ours, any eye hatch would be hens from that pair, because the cockbird carries it. So anything would be a hen, which is pastel. So it's a shame, because I've actually lost 3 definite pastel hens over the past 2 clutches, just because of, you know, this first round mistakes by the parents really actually, and then obviously a clueless chick who jumped far too early and sadly broke its neck. Obviously the second round we're not exactly sure what happened, but losing the chick was obviously quite upsetting. I'm hoping now that I've took this chick away, we might get the last round out, with it being the 10th of July. hopefully because the nest isn't actually messy, which she had this chicken, we will get a couple of eggs sooner rather than later. Obviously she has got all the nest sites she can build in, and I'm obviously giving them a supply of coconut fibre. So I think what my plan would be for this next clutch, definite, even though the cockbird was great in the first clutch and he fed the chicks a lot as well as the hen, and he did a really good job. This second round obviously didn't go well, and I think he was the real factor to play in that, with losing the chicks. So this next round will definitely be a case of removing the cockbird once the eggs have been laid. I think that is a safe move to do with a lot of natives actually. I don't know how the year's gone so far for other bullfinch breeders. I know a lot of people have had success with natives, especially in cage breeding, which is quite rare because natives will usually be a pain to cage breed. I tried natives actually in this flight here and the next flight last year. They had it's nearly a 7-foot flight, that, by 18-inch deep and 3-foot high. And I didn't find any success until I actually lost the hen nearly a year. I think it was about a year ago now. The hen went light, no sign, then suddenly it was coccidiosis. Just snouches on the floor on the bottom. I picked her up, brought her inside, you know, what's wrong, and she died. My hands, I contacted my friend who's got me started with all this. I won't say his name actually, just for the purposes of keeping it private for him, but he says to me, this is what you're after, tell me exactly where to order it from. So I forgot, what is it, I put it on the screen now actually. So that is the name of the website I buy baycocks from, which is to stop them going light. I would definitely recommend, if you've got greenfinches, you 100% need that, or you're going to lose a lot of greenfinches. For bullfinches as well, I mean, I give all the birds baycocks, and I find it's very useful, obviously keeping coccidiosis at bay, and you don't want to lose them. Medication, just supply, I give the bullfinches vitamins as well, just to keep them in condition throughout the season. So that really concludes this video on breeding bullfinches, the good, the bad and the ugly. You know, we've had the success of actually getting them with eggs and hatching the eggs and the eggs being full, etc. Never had not had an issue with fertility as of yet with the bullfinches. So I'm really hoping that we might get a third round out of them very soon, and that'll be a success. And what I might even do is see how many chicks we get out, leave her with probably two normals, and hopefully we'll get some pastels out of that actually, and I'll try them under this pair. If this pair rear that young there successfully, that'll be really good. If not, I have got other birds which would raise a bullfinch. I have got a pair of greenfinches up here, I have a pair outside in the mixed aviary, and I have another pair of exhibitions. However, they wouldn't coincide with their chicks hatching other than this pair. Obviously, with having this chick, if you take it the earliest it would ever be is 2 weeks from now. That chick will be out of the nest in 2 weeks. The idea is that hopefully she'll have a week or two off, so to make it the middle of July, or about the 20th of July, to when she actually lays the egg. She'll start sitting, the eggs will hatch, and then I'll actually be able to hopefully have her on eggs again, and we'll put maybe 2 or 3 chicks under her, and hopefully fingers crossed, that will be some more bullfinches. So right now the maximum bullfinches we are going to get from this season is 2. We obviously have the one that sticks now, and we have this chick here who is touch and go with at the moment. Other than that, I think that's about it. You will need earrings for bullfinches. I've just had to order some more today from the BBC. You can get them from the BBC, which is British Bird Council, or the IOA, International Ornithological Association. The links will be in the description to their websites. And that's really it for bullfinches. Obviously not the video you was probably hoping for with the bullfinches, but I'd rather be honest and show you the good sides and the bad sides, so you get a good side of the hobby and understand that if you lose some chicks and you lose some birds, it's not strictly your fault, and don't feel that you're doing something completely wrong, because obviously in hindsight I wish I'd have took those chicks away now, but I can't. I wish I'd have monitored them more, but that's what happens. And obviously with monitoring the chicks, you can actually lose them just from disturbing the chicks and the nests too much and touching them. I don't touch the chicks ideally until I need to, which is obviously ringing the chicks, and that's the only time I really touch them. Yeah, so that's breeding bullfinches for you. Yeah, please leave any comments on what you thought of this video, and any questions you have, whether you want to message me on Instagram at OCAvery, or you just want to leave a comment. I'm more than happy to respond to as many comments as I get. If you did like this video, please put a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, put a thumbs down. Just leave in the comments as to why you didn't like it and anything I can improve with. Obviously something I can't help is the real content of this video, that yeah, we have lost some chicks, which is a real shame, and we have lost some really nice, well, what could have been really nice birds. But obviously if you're not a fan of the editing, for example, or the audio, I can always I can change that up. So yeah, well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. For the next video on native finches, I've got quite a good video planned actually, which will be for next Friday or Saturday, either way, next weekend, let's say as a date. I've got a really quite a fun video planned, which hopefully you should enjoy. I'm not going to say any more than that, but please, you will enjoy it, and it will be next weekend. So subscribe if you're new, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.